I am Hon Musa Bagos, representing the good, great people of Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency from the peaceful state of Plateau. My expectations are so enormous. Just not my expectation, but the expectation of my constituents. The expectation of my constituents in the sense that my constituency is a cosmopolitan constituency. At the same time, a constituency that has a very high educated number of people across board. So, expectation is that the people within the constituency want the best out of legislation, want the best of intervention, and at the same time want the best of constituency outreach. So my expectation, in line with the expectation of my people, is to have the kind of a synergy with my constituents that let their heartbeat be my heartbeat. Project placement within my constituency usually come as a result of a request from my constituents. We have liaison officers across board, and not just the liaison officers, we have coordinators in every ward, and that has given us the opportunity to interface with the people through the structures we have, and most of the projects come in through them because of the people they interact with. You find out people come in with requests of borehole, people come in with requests of clinics, community halls, with so many requests in terms of infrastructure. So most of the requests are coming through the people. We have stakeholders that they have people that they are leading. So a lot of these requests come through them. Yeah, well, there is something I believe in, that wealth is not the amount of money you have in your pocket, but your wealth should be the number of people you have around you. So invariably, I believe in the people. I believe in assisting with whatsoever little I have at whatsoever point, because, by the way, whatsoever you want to gather for yourself are not given to the people. The mighties in the olden days have seen it all, and at the end of the day they said vanity is vanity. So what's the essence of keeping anything to yourself? So I believe that I rather invest in people than invest in self. From my slogan of equipping the next generation, I believe in some certain cardinal rule of objective in terms of equipping the next generation. That the leaders of the next generation will be leaders that are highly technically intelligent, and be it from the formal classroom or informal classroom, all is education. And investing in education has been one of my cardinal points of campaign. And that is why when we came into office, the first time in history, we paid tuition in a school from JSS1 to SS3. We have done that. We've been able to give pay NECO to the girl child in numbers. We've given out scholarship, and we're still giving out scholarship, which we will still do next month. And one of my major understanding, and which will be my major joy, is that at the end of my assignment is that I should be able to showcase the number of people that I've produced to be men and women through my form of scholarship, promoting them educational. And again, like I said, formal and informal. The informal form of education that we have given out, we have trained people in different various skills. They have been able to receive quite high technical education in those areas. We have taken in women from every ward, taken them to a training school where they learn sewing, and we gave them at the same time starter pack of sewing machine. And not just that we should just give a starter pack and someone will just go and sell it. No, the people that got those sewing machines were trained as professional fashion designers, and we were able to give them those sewing machines. And up to date, they are doing great. And these are people that are through the informal form of education that we have given them, they are now empowered to be able to cater for themselves. The ideology behind equipping the next generation is that whatsoever generational gap that we have had in terms of producing leadership, in terms of producing people that are capable and people that have been able to identify who they are, ours is that the next generation that will come after us should be better than us. And that is the major essence of we are looking at equipping the next generation. What we are doing now, we might not benefit from what we are doing now, but our children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren will benefit from the magnitude, the caliber, the intellectuals, leaders that we are producing from this mandate. Because we believe that if we give the younger ones and we give the youths, we give them the background, we give them the support, they will be leaders of credibility that will be able to drive their generation during their time. I always look at employment opportunities as a privilege, in as much as it's out of our own legislative mandate, but it's what we lobby for our constituents. And I'm happy that in different areas we already have our constituents. We have some in Abeokuta at the moment. We have some in various states, some in other sectors. They are making us proud. And even, people usually say constituency allowance. There's nothing and never be anything like constituency allowance. What we have is constituency projects. And even the constituency project is not us that those monies are being given to. We drive, we facilitate, we'll be able to lobby for such projects, and the federal government and through their agencies be able to allocate those projects to the various contractors. So there's nothing like constituency allowance. We always try to tell our people that no member of the National Assembly, be it the Senate or be it the House of Reps, that collects money in the name of constituency allowance. Yeah, well, the journey has been incredibly challenging, educative, interesting, loving, at the same time been able to get great and tremendous support from my constituents. So my constituents should expect more by the grace of God as we are winding down this first phase. My desire and prayer is that as we move into the second phase, by the grace of God, we're going to do more. And by the grace of God, with their continuous support, we will reach out to areas that we have not been able to reach out on the first phase. But then, whatsoever we have done in the first phase, carrying it through the second phase, definitely we're going to do better, greater, and the constituency will be stronger. You see, the National Assembly, it has been structured in a way that it's not about, in as much as you have the majority in leadership and you still have the minority leadership, but it has been structured in the way that once you are humble, you can network. And through networking, through understanding the workings of the National Assembly, that you need to lobby, you need to network, and at the same time, focused. Those three cardinal objectives have been able to make us, endeared us to the heart of the leaders, to be able to show us the way. And again, I can say that if you want the way to be shown to you, you must be humbled. And that has been able to endear us to the leadership. And that we've been able to lobby so much for our constituents. And again, prudency in ensuring that whatsoever constituency project that we have been able to get, that it is being executed, that you don't shortchange your constituents. And that has been one of my cardinal rule and objective on moral grounds, that I've promised my constituents that, look, this is what I will do. And whatsoever is for the people will go for the people. And I thank God that all the constituency projects that I've been able to lobby, all and each and every one of them have been executed, not abandoned, not uncompleted. They have been executed. Some are ongoing as I'm talking to you, and we are going to commission them in few weeks to come. And with that, we want people this time around to see and feel the dividends of democracy. It's not something that you promise them and they don't see, but let it be what you have said and they are seeing it. And that's why some people are calling me Mr. Talk and Do. Well, I said, well, if you say it, you should be able to do it. And that has been my policy. That's my cardinal rule. And by the way, not just for politics, but for prosperity. In the sense that posterity will hold you responsible. At the end of the day, we are all going to meet our Maker. And all these things we are doing in this office, we are going to give account of what we are doing and what we have been able to do. So I will not allow an office of 8 years to destroy 40 years of my life here on earth. So whatever we have been able to put on ground, we should be able to give account to the people and to God. And by so doing, God will pave more ways for us, and the people will believe in us. Yeah, the insecurity in Nigeria has worsened in the sense that it's now a difficult thing for us to be able to understand where it's coming from. But then, one thing that I know and I believe in is that the responsibility of government is to provide security to every citizen. And at the same time, it's the responsibility of the government to protect property of its citizens. So my constituency has been hit over the years in terms of insecurity. We have been talking about it. We have been looking at various solutions. But usually the challenge is lack of justice. The justice system has not yet been able to give justice to people that have been hit by the issue of insecurity. People that have been chased from their communities, people that have lost their loved ones, people that have been kidnapped, and so on and so forth. You find out that perpetrators usually get away with it. Perpetrators are not always brought to book, as government always say that perpetrators will be brought to book. You find out that the book of those that were killed is filled up, and the book of the perpetrators is still empty. So the justice system is one of the major problems to the issue of addressing insecurity. One of the areas that we have been, apart from talking on the floor, bringing in motions, we have been able at the same time again brought out bills that will amend the Constitution. In amending the Constitution, we have been able to push for state police. In amending the Constitution, be able to amend the Police Act to be able to give room for community policing. But the major one is amending the Constitution, in the sense that when we amend the Constitution, it should be able to give the state governors the cardinal role to be the true chief security officers in handling insecurity in their states, not waiting for any pronouncement from IG or from president or so on and so forth, but to be able to see how the areas and the issues of insecurity has been addressed. You see, from the fact and from the angle of government cannot employ everyone, and which is a fact, and with the high number of unemployed youths that we have within our constituencies, the only area we can be able to address such issues is to be able to industrialize each and every constituency, to be able to industrialize Nigeria. If each local government can have an industry that can cater for at least 1,000 or 2,000 people, to reduce the rate of unemployment to almost 70%. And with our high number of population in the country, we are not yet tapping into that number. That we have a lot of unemployed youths, underemployed, and unused and untapped labor. So these are areas that if government could start looking at how it can industrialize Nigeria, we'll be able to tap into, address the level of unemployment that we have. But I don't see the capacity of any government now that will be able to harness and be able to absorb all the number of unemployed youths that we have in Nigeria. Well, number one, I'm not a businessman. Number two, the only platform I have is the National Assembly. Apart from lobbying for jobs for my constituents, recommending them to various agencies on merit, some certain level of lobbies. We don't just, I'm not part of the clique that will just want to lobby for someone when he's not qualified. Because if you put an unqualified person in the system, the slogan of equipping the next generation we're talking of, we have bastardized it. So let people be employed on merit. And at the same time, we bring up legislations that will be able to open other sectors. Look into the budget. What are those foreign direct investments that we can bring into the budget to be able to open up the economy? Those are key areas, and those are key cardinal points that I, as an individual, have been looking at. Oh yes, within my reach. Politically, you cannot and will not be able to address all problems. But within what you can do within your reach, you should do it. The office have what it can get for the people in terms of projects, constituency projects, in terms of lobbying and so on and so forth. So balancing that, I've been able to do that. And you know, politicians, I always tell some, when they said, we don't always see you at home, or we want to see you on Tuesday or on Wednesday at home. I said, this assignment, you voted me into power. We have meetings from Monday till Thursdays or Fridays before you be able to move to your constituency. And even some oversights happen through the weekend. So balancing it, in as much as it's quite difficult, but we try to do our best. Well, I will look at from what has been done within the constituency and what we are doing now. I will just say, I will nod my head that yes, we have all done well, not me. But then, in scoring and putting the benchmark, the people have seen what we have done, and the people should be able to see what we have done. I want to thank God that in recent times, last year I got award from the House of Reps Press Corps as one of the best legislator in activism and so on and so forth. I got again an award from the Guardian newspaper as one of the best new members. Again, I've gotten award from different organizations. And not only that, the rating, again within the National Assembly, from the independent bodies within the National Assembly, has placed us at various points as 1 and 2. So if it were a classroom marking, since I came into the National Assembly, I've been number 1, number 2 at a point. Number 1, number 2. I've never missed that 1 and 2. So we thank God for where we are. But then, like I said, let the rating be from the people. The continuous support. The continuous support. I've enjoyed the support of my constituents, and I believe that I will continue to enjoy the enormous support they have given us, and we are trusting God. We are trusting God that we will surely be stronger together in the next phase of our assignment, and that together we will succeed, because I know that it is not over until it's over. Thank you.